think, as you quite rightly mentioned at the beginning, social pressure to marry has reduced, and that means that those who do marry are much more serious about it. And it's very interesting that in some American studies have shown that men's commitment is much more to do with making decisions about the future. So when us blokes commit to something, we do it by making a clear decision in our heads. For women generally, and this is obviously horribly generalizing, it seems to be much more about attachment and bonding. So when women move into a relationship, that seems to be the moment when most people commit. Whereas for men, it's when we actually make a decision, like getting engaged, for example.
Okay, when was the peak time for people getting divorced, and what do you think has happened in that period since?
The worst year, believe it or not, the worst year for divorces were the couples who married in 1986, which includes me. I've been married 33 years, so I'm proud that I'm a survivor, or my wife and I are survivors of that particular group. And I think what's happened is people like me who have survived by taking responsibility for our relationships. But the newer generation are definitely being much more decisive about it, particularly the men. And some of that is because people are getting married older, and some of it is just that we're much more deliberate and intentional about our relationships. I think the knock-on effect of this has been that we've seen a big fall in the overall level of family breakdown. So if you go into a typical secondary school now and you were to look at, say, 100 GCSE age kids, you'd find that 36 of them are not living typically with both natural parents. 5 or 10 years ago, it was about over 40 to 44. And it's all down to this big increase in commitment, what we think is the big increase in commitment amongst men. So the big trick is going to be, how do you get the unmarried group, who have much, much higher rates of instability, how do you get the unmarried group to make better decisions about their future?